Hey y'all, it's me, Boo. And I'm back this time with a tagged video. Donna Shorts one tagged me to do a Grateful video. Lately, I've felt more like the Grateful Dead than just the Grateful, but I'm gonna do it. I'm grateful for so many things, so it's really hard to wrap my mind around just a few things to tell you about. But I'm going to go through the classics, of course, friends and family. I have the most amazing family. And we love a lot, and we're very close. And my sisters, my parents, my nieces, my nephews, oh, and my grandbabies. Oh, the grandbabies. One isn't here yet. We'll be welcoming him to the world in February. But little Monkey Man's here. Hi, Monkey Man. Love him. And the newest grandson already has a nickname, Tallyman. That's what I've been calling him. Anyway, that's from Hey, Mr. Tallyman, tally me banana. Daylight come and we won't go home. I don't know. I have this OCD thing about nicknames, so I nickname everybody. So, anyway, I'm super grateful for my grandkids. And I am also really, really grateful for being involved in a true love story. I'm a 50% participant, and I couldn't be happier. I come from a long line of true love stories, though. In my family, it's a gift we have of being able to recognize our split apart, our other half, and grab onto them and never let go. Hang on for that roller coaster ride. So, my parents just celebrated their 60th wedding anniversary. That's 60, and are living their own true love story still to this day. And I find myself 23 years into one, and I am more grateful for that than I could possibly say. I don't deserve it. That's why I know that there is a split apart out there, another half for everybody, because I'm not, a mistake free person, or somebody who is more deserving than anybody else on this planet of happiness and love. And but I got it. I recognized it finally. Almost didn't, but I finally did. He recognized it way before I did. I must put that out there, or he would absolutely blow up. um, I almost blew it, but I did come around. And I get asked, I'm just going to throw this out there, I get asked all the time. I've been, Jim, and it's my husband's name is Jim. We've been told time and time again, that we are people's template for how they want to be as a couple. And even my nieces have said, we're not going to settle for anything less than what Uncle Jim and Aunt Boo have. I'm not going to settle for being with somebody that I'm not that happy with. So that's really cool. And the secret is really easy, people. The secret, yeah, there's trust, but you know what? And honesty and all of that, true that. That's there. But you're all going to screw up. You're going to lie to each other at some point. You're going to make a mistake somewhere down the road. So it's more about forgiving than it is the honesty part, because we're human beings. We are built to lie. It's just the nature of the human beast. Nobody tells the truth. I don't care who they are, unless they're potentially a person with developmental and intellectual disabilities. They are the most honest people I have ever known in my life. Now, they are the ones that I could see, the only human beings on this planet that are completely truthful. Everybody else lies. So, we've talked about it. And honestly, what keeps us so close and in this love story is just a few really simple things. Laughter. We laugh a lot. The longer you're with somebody, the more your sense of humor becomes so similar that you laugh at the same things. Well, the point is to laugh. I mean, to honestly laugh. We gut burst all the time at each other and ourselves, all the time. So the other thing is you got to have your own culture. You know, you have to have your own couples culture, your own little secrets that you have, your own little bridges and bonds that you have that nobody else understands. You know, I can say one word to my husband out in public and he will lose it, and vice versa. He can say one word to me. I can think of a few right now that will just make me lose it, and he knows that. And because nobody else knows what we're talking about, one word, and it's a joke between us. You know, you've got to have that culture. You've got to have that private internal world that's just yours, not the kids' and yours, just yours. And the other thing is sex. Sorry, folks, but I don't care what kind of relationship you're in, if it's, you know, gay, straight, bisexual, it doesn't matter. It's whatever it is, sex is going to be important for the most part. Not always. If it's not important to both of you, then you're good to go. But if it's important to one person, it's important to the relationship. And it used to be most of the time the women were the ones that weren't putting out. And ladies, that was a big mistake, because I'll bet you there isn't a therapist out there, a couples therapist, that doesn't say, you know, you got to give to get. You got to meet your partner's needs before they're going to meet yours. And it's always a struggle. Why should I do it first? Why don't they do it first? Who gives a shit? Somebody do it, you know? Make the first move. And you know, if it's a woman that isn't really into sex but her man is, she better start initiating it and making him feel worth. And here's my argument on that. You know, it's like people that one partner wants to have sex with them and the other one isn't into it. It's like, and gets really pissed and stuff because they're always being pawed at by their partner. Well, guess what? They're attracted to you. They want you. They lust for you. They desire you. Oh my God. What an incredible compliment that is. That even if you've been with somebody, I'm still moved after 23 years. I can jump out of the shower and my husband go, damn, you know, and I'm like, oh, let's rendezvous in the other room, shall we? Actually, we have no kids in the house, so we can rendezvous in whatever room we want to. But that is a biggie, and once I started doing that often and meeting his needs, hello, the romance and the massages and, you know, the bling all started coming my way too, even though those aren't things that I need. But I'm just saying, they just came with the territory. That was his way of saying he's happy in the relationship. And then after a while, let me tell you, you kind of want it yourself. Once you get them trained really well, ladies, oh my gosh, do not deny them. It'll be a rockin' experience. And I know that is a big, and I know there's dudes out there too that are denying. I've seen a lot of couples in recent years where the chick is just gaga for it, and he'd rather drink beer and sit on the couch watch football. Shame on you. What the hell? You're going to lose your man card. I'm here to tell you. You tell any of the good old boys that story that you're telling your woman no because you want to drink beer and watch football, you're going to be booted out of the club really fast. So that's my secret, is laughter, an internal culture, and sex. I mean, you know, everything else comes with it. But if you've got those three things, you're going to be super close. You're not just going to be an old married couple. You're going to be a couple that people are you honeymooning? Yeah, for the last 23 years, we've been honeymooning. So there's my PSA. So the other part of my grateful is I wanted to just read you this essay that I wrote. I was asked to do an inspirational story at work for the leadership group for the nonprofit organization that I work for that helps to support developmentally and intellectually, persons with intellectual and physical disabilities. And I thought, what better way to express my gratitude than to read you what I wrote for this inspirational piece, because to me, anything that inspires me, I am incredibly grateful for. Incredibly grateful for. So I just thought that I'd throw this out there because, I will babble on and on if I don't have some kind of structure. So here goes. I titled it Chasing Images. And this is kind of a follow-up to an essay I had written not too long before this. So that kind of explains this first paragraph. But in my last essay, I talked about my stack of happy memories, my greatest mental snapshots, and how I was going to transfer a few of them on my skin with tattoos in order to thin out the teetering tower and keep it from toppling over and potentially causing brain damage from inside out. Of course, I couldn't tattoo all of them on me, or I'd end up looking like the Illustrated Woman. But that got me thinking that this was a good time to organize those memories and clean up the clutter in my head a bit. I figured I could sort out those memories by prioritizing which ones I wanted to part with and those that were just wonderful but not life-altering. That way I would know right where to look if I needed to make quick room for another spectacularly important image that had to stay in my mental library without the danger of mistakenly tossing out one of my other important images. All of my life, the pattern for collecting these images seemed set. About every 12 years, I would see an image of such magnificence that it would take my breath away. Not that figurative, airless state either, but that kind of awestruck moment when you see something so unbelievable that it feels like every molecule of atmosphere has suddenly fled your being, and for a second you don't care if it ever comes back, because you know that you are now changed forever. A few of my life-altering snapshots are how tears from a profound sense of pride momentarily obscured my view of the Statue of Liberty as I stood at her feet and read her message. Click. Of being surrounded by gigantic manta rays in the moonlit Pacific, suddenly mesmerized by their aquatic ballet and feeling unworthy of being their witness. Click. How I fell to my knees with love, seeing my grandson with his impish grin and blinding twinkle in his eyes, yelling for the first time, "Damu, Dama Boo," because he can't say "I love you, Grandma Boo" yet. Click, click. These are just 3 of my personal and coveted freeze frames of ultimate beauty. I assumed it would be another several years before I would be able to find another image worthy of being put in the life-altering files. That was before I became a supported living manager for a nonprofit company whose clients are persons with developmental and intellectual disabilities. As a nurse, I'm trained to watch for symptoms, evaluate body language, and analyze a person's overall appearance. This helps me to determine a holistic way to treat a person medically to the best of my ability. I was too busy interpreting data and being a nurse to see beauty, though it always surrounded me, when I entered the client's home. Now as a site manager, I have less time, but there's more of a need to look for beauty every day. I feel like in this economy, with many of the staff struggling to survive week to week and feeling overwhelmed, that it's imperative that I point out these breathtaking freeze frames whenever possible to those who may be lost in their own suffocating and unhappy images and in desperate need to see something really special. That was my motivation when I started noticing how much loveliness was around the place I work on a daily basis. Since there are too many of these visions to list right now, I'll stick with describing just one. At the end of last year, one of the staff, we'll call her Rose, came to work the day after her best friend had suddenly died, saying she would rather be at site than home. Rose put on a brave face and convinced me she would be able to work her shift without letting it negatively affect the clients we support. I had heard Rose talking softly to one of our clients while in her room that day, and I monitored her for a moment from the hallway to make sure she was all right. Rose was one that felt especially close to this client, though she's never been positive that the client ever knew it. This particular client has always seemed to dwell in a place none of us can see. She is constantly swinging her head and body back and forth and rarely becomes still long enough to make contact with her environment or those in it. It's been difficult to know the things that will draw her from her internal world and to help her interact, even for a short time, in ours. All of the educational and medical professionals that have worked closely with this client over the course of many years have not been positive if they were ever able to reach her, even once, or if it was even possible. But that has, of course, never deterred the staff from trying, and that's especially true with Rose. She has never stopped searching for that one definitive moment when she can absolutely be sure that this client knows just how deeply she is loved. I had passed by that client's bedroom door a second time that day and saw Rose doing her hair. She was cooing to her how thick and gorgeous her hair was, and how it reminded her of her friends. A hitch caught in her voice when she couldn't complete the sentence. I went back to the door of the bedroom, thinking maybe being at work wasn't the best place for her after all. And then one of those amazing snapshots came, when the client stopped her perpetual motion, looked directly at Rose's face, reached out and softly caressed her cheek. Suddenly, I was again breathless. Rose didn't understand at that time how significant of an act that was when she left the room smiling, or when she didn't have any trouble finishing out her shift, and even seemed more lighthearted the rest of the day. When we discussed it later, she was moved to tears by this client's actions, but also disappointed she hadn't recognized it as it was happening. There was no doubt that that client could feel the pain emanating from Rose, no matter how hard she had tried to hide it, and had wanted to comfort Rose. So instead of finding that moment, that definitive moment, that would verify that this client knew that she was loved, with one look and one touch, that client had shown Rose that she was. Click. Anyway, that's the kind of things that I am grateful for, is the ability to see these snapshots of beauty in my daily life. And I just want to share that with all of you. And I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. I'm also happy for my OCD, because that brought me to fragrances, which brought me to all of you. And I'm certainly grateful for all of you. So, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. I say the rest of the holidays that different religions might celebrate this time of year, or if you celebrate nothing at all, I just hope you have a good winter. All right, everybody. Peace.